Heyo.
And fuck
this
movie.
Oh, that was smooth.
Yeah.
That was smooth indeed.
All right.
Welcome to Fuck This Movie, podcast about film and other fuckery. To my right, we have the owner and proprietor, the guy that makes all this possible. And he's too old to be cool. But there's a new supervillain tattoo on the way that could possibly change that.
There is.
Maybe you could be cool, even at your age.
Maybe. I mean, like, the cool thing is a bunch of fucking face tattoos. But, I mean, I can't be cool unless I scribble a bunch of nonsense.
That is the thing, though. That is the thing.
It is the thing. But my face tattoos are, like, not, like, blessed above my eyebrows. So that's the cool thing. And I'm not going to do that. So.
The least Post Malone you can go.
Yeah, I'm not scribbling random words on my face. I'm just not doing it. Not doing it.
So that's Mr. John Brown. And to my left, we have, of the three of us, the only one who would choose two religious films as his double feature, Mr. Reese Anweiler.
That's probably not true. You could probably
I could.
He wouldn't.
I don't know if I would, but I could. I definitely could.
But I did.
Mr. Reese Anweiler.
Hello. What was my last pick?
You've actually picked the most now.
You're
cementing the most religious movies picked.
The Last Temptation wasn't my last pick, was it?
No. It wasn't your last pick.
That was your pick.
The Last Temptation?
Oh, that's true. It was.
I know. I always think of it as Reese's pick, but really it's John's pick.
No, it was my pick. It was my pick. And I was curious.
I have chosen 0 religious movies.
Yeah.
Unless you want to count The Ritual.
It was religious to somebody.
My last pick.
Yeah, it was religious to somebody.
Yeah. I mean, to the people, to the whacked out fucking forest folk, it was very religious to them.
Oh, you picked The Village.
Huh?
You picked The Village.
I did, and Barbie.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a very religious movie. Barbie is a religion.
Barbie's a religious movie?
The religion of capitalism.
Barbie is not a religious movie. So here's the thing. Everybody wants to say Barbie is blank. False. It's false. Barbie is nothing.
Barbie is a movie.
No, I don't think Dustin even agrees with that, actually.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's kind of a movie.
Wait, you still haven't. Did you introduce yourself?
Oh, yeah. I'm Dustin Holland.
He just did, really.
Yeah, that's right. I am the guy whose voice is speaking right now.
Yeah.
And anyway, what have you guys been watching? Anything good? John said he had something good.
I did. Well, first of all, I finished off the Peacemaker series.
Nice.
What's the Peacemaker series?
It's a spin-off from The Suicide Squad. It's the John Cena playing dude. Actually, it was super entertaining.
I would just like to inject here with my own. I saw The Suicide Squad.
The Suicide Squad?
Yeah, after Friday night, John finally saw
the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
The first Guardians of the Galaxy. He watched.
You hadn't seen it yet?
He hadn't seen the first one.
No, I watched the second one and thoroughly enjoyed it.
You just watched it randomly? Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Well, now you got to watch.
I don't give a shit about comic book stuff.
You got to watch the third one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so now are we talking about Peacemaker, Guardians of the Galaxy 1, or The Suicide Squad?
The Suicide Squad is what we're talking about.
Yeah, okay. So The Suicide Squad. Yeah, I watched it. Once you told me that because you had already seen it.
Yeah.
And you told me that I didn't know that it was James Gunn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you said it played a lot like Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. I watched it. It was better than... It wasn't as good as the Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
Right.
It was better than any
Suicide Squad
DC movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's the best DC movie other than like the Christian Bale, Nolan.
It might be like, besides Batman movies, it might be the best.
I agree. Movie. But no, like, and so in watching Peacemaker, dude, like, James Gunn is so, like, he does a thing. And he loves
and we looked him up, and
music.
It was like, did you know he did Trauma shit?
Yeah. He got his start in like real schlocky.
I did not know that. That was like super exciting for me to hear. Like, ooh, I like this guy even more now.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's that motherfucker loves wacky music, dude. Like, I don't even know where he pulls half of this shit out of. Like, in all through Peacemaker, like Peacemaker's whole bit is like fucking 80s hair bands, and I never heard of any of them.
Yeah.
that he mentioned in the show. I never heard of a goddamn one of them. But
he does not. I mean, obviously in some of his like the Guardians movies, he uses pretty mainstream stuff.
Yeah.
But like, his music pulls are like not typical at all.
He's so music forward, and I really, really appreciate that out of a filmmaker. Like he's just
the Guardians movie especially.
No, I know everything he's done. I've not seen anything he's done that's not just like
the intro, like the theme song for Peacemaker is literally like the whole cast of the show doing like a song and dance to like an 80s hair metal, like doing like funny choreography and stuff. But like,
which is like, seriously. It's abrasive when you, the first episode, it's like kind of silly and annoying. Yeah. And then like by the end of it, it's like, it's kind of fun.
So I've got a good segue here, so I'm going to use it. When you talk about dancing, I saw City of God.
Yeah.
Finally.
Is that the
Brazilian? Yes. Okay.
I haven't seen that in a long time. That's a good fucking movie.
This is what I have decided after watching City of God. City of God is Slumdog Millionaire if you take away the game show and the horrible dance thing at the end.
Right. And insert a bunch of gang violence.
I mean, that's already there. That's already pretty present. It's basically the same movie.
Yeah, it's a really fucking good movie.
Take place in different places.
Really good movie.
That
one's historic. That was historically based too. Like,
yes, there's like a twist at the end where they're like, and the twist is, this was a true story.
Yeah, this actually happened. And here's some footage. Of the gang
lords. I spoiled it.
Yeah.
Damn it.
No, they close out the credits with footage of the gang lord. That's the main character in the movie, like breaking all the shit down and talking about all the stuff that happened and what he did and everything. Yeah, it's a great.
It's kind of a fun like shocker because it like doesn't really have any effect on anything. I don't really give a shit if it was true or not, but like it was interesting.
Yeah.
But all right, so yeah, I did just thoroughly enjoy Peacemaker. It's goofy, over the top nonsense, but it was very fun, and I did appreciate the last after all the climax of the season, finishes up, and like they save the day, save the world from this alien invasion threat, and they're coming out of the battle all fucked up. One of them's almost dead. The Justice League shows up at like right at the last moment, and Peacemaker is like, fucking good job, guys. A little fucking late here. And there's been a running bit through the whole show of like crazy nonsense that Peacemaker says about other superheroes and like the crazy shit they do. And there's a running thing about Aquaman fucking fish. And like of the Justice League, they only actually show Flash and Jason Momoa. They're just a silhouette of Wonder Woman and Superman. But as they show up...
They couldn't pay those contracts.
Yeah, I guess. I thought it was fun, too, that Jason Momoa would be the one to be like involved in the adult version of DC stuff, at least a little bit to dip his toe.
Yeah.
But like, as Peacemaker...
To be fair, the dude's like the ultimate horror of Hollywood. I see him on like fucking like sandwich commercials. And like
everybody gets there eventually anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they said as they're walking off, like he's like,
dude hadn't had a sandwich in like 40 years, man.
Yeah, no. They show up and Peacemaker's like, oh, you guys are a little fucking late, and Aquaman says something. He's like, oh, I don't want to fucking hear it, fish fucker. And Aquaman's like, I wish that rumor would die. And Flash is like, yeah, but it's true. And he's like, shut up, Barry. Like, that was pretty fun. That was a pretty fun little thing for a franchise I don't give a fuck about, Yeah. That was cool. Yeah. So I watched that. I do recommend checking it out if you like just over the top nonsensical humor. It's definitely that.
And it's just like, is it 8 episodes, 10 episodes?
Yeah,
but that's it. 10, it's not like season 1. That's the whole thing.
Yep. No, it was fun. So aside from that, the most notable thing I watched, it just popped on Shudder the other day, Cemetery Man, 1994 Italian film. One thing that really weirded me out about this movie, it's Italian. It lists as English on Shudder, and as I'm watching it, like I'm thinking it's dubbed. It sounds dubbed.
Yeah.
But I start paying attention, and I don't think it was. Like, when I really paid attention to all the actors, they were speaking English, but somehow the whole fucking thing sounded like bad dubbing, like
but
bad
did the
voice
dubs
acting.
Have accents?
No.
Yeah,
no.
So that's like.
Well, I mean, they were British accents, but like.
But I mean, not Italian accents.
Yeah, not Italian. Like,
I think that was really common for Italian films of like, I don't know, like probably from
all of
the
them
60s up until like the 90s, because like that's if you watch like the Clint Eastwood spaghetti westerns,
right,
like Few Dollars More and stuff, even Clint Eastwood is dubbed,
right,
but it's just because they knew they were going to dub the non-English speakers,
right.
and so they dubbed everybody so that everybody sounds the same.
Yeah, that's a weird effect.
It
is
is
a weird
very
effect
weird.
in the movie. It's very distracting.
It's distracting when
very
like Clint Eastwood's mouth, like it is his voice and his words, but it just slightly doesn't line up right.
Yeah, no, like every time I would be conscious of it and pay attention, it's like, fuck, it's checking out visually here, but like something's not.
I had a really similar
there.
experience with another movie I just finished today. It'll relate to the two features we're talking about.
Okay.
It was dubbed, and I could tell some of the people were speaking English, but it would be like just slightly off.
No, it's a trip. So the movie the premise is actually pretty cool. It's a dude that works at a cemetery where it's just like common knowledge that the dead just get back up, and so his whole job is to murder the zombies that get up from being freshly buried, and it's like treated immediately as like the most casual thing. Like the opening scene is him getting a phone call from a buddy of his, and there's a knock on the door. He's like, hold on, and he opens the door. It's a fucking zombie. He's like, blap, blap, fucking shot to the head. Like, yeah, sorry about that, man. Like, just another day in life. So it was a cool premise. It was well done. The actor was somebody. Fuck, I should have written this down. I've heard the name a million times. Super familiar with the name. Never saw the dude in a film before. And he was all right. He was definitely solid enough. But some really cool camera work.
Rupert Everett.
Yeah, Rupert Everett. Really cool camera work. Really cool scenes. But it got fucking really weird, right? So this guy that's tasked with holding down the cemetery and killing the zombies that are freshly arisen, he's got a sidekick named Nashi. This is like 40-year-old, apparently mentally handicapped dude that can only say nah. And so, like, he's there the whole film, backing him up.
He's the Groot character.
Helping him drag bodies around, do the killing, yada, yada, yada. There's a point where they have dinner with some rich family. I don't remember the context. I was busy playing with a cat. But this dude gets like super creepily like excited to be sitting across from what seems to be like an 11 or 12-year-old girl, and like really excited and just like don't really watch the scene. You don't really know what the fuck they're going for, what's happening.
Yeah.
But he's like tripping out, like angel voices type, like falling in love scene, and then he vomits on the girl, and then that ends that scene, And then a little bit later, they come back and like, well, she died inexplicably, and so they bury her in this crypt, which I'm pretty sure one fucked up thing about this movie. I don't know. I didn't say. Or well, they probably did, but again, playing with cat. Anyhow, so chick dies.
Can you give a good synopsis if you were just playing with a cat the whole time?
I can give a good synopsis of the juicy bits. All right?
So the chick dies, and then the cat bites my hand. Would you believe that?
That son of a bitch.
Right. What a twist is that?
So yeah, she comes back. They do a big round of burials, and it's like a rich family, so she's buried in the glass casket. A little bit later, the dude, and so like they present in this movie too that like, it's not guaranteed that everybody's going to come back to life. No, they kind of all just come back to life. So they're all like status quo is fucked. But he goes and he digs up her grave. Immediately, this dude digs up this fucking little girl's grave all the way down. And of course, she is animated and she sees him and she's like, ah. He breaks the glass in the glass casket and tries to pull her out, but he just pulls her head out.
Jesus.
And then he sets her head on the ground, crawls out, and then like, can't remember exactly the dialogue, but he like shimmies up and kisses this 12-year-old girl. So this 40-year-old mentally handicapped dude is now kissing the severed head of a 12-year-old girl zombie. Then takes the head to his basement dwelling that he keeps in the TV. And there's a later scene where the dad busts in and is like, sees the daughter's head and is like, this is fucking crazy. What's going on here? And the zombified daughter's head. And it's like, oh no, we're gonna get married. We're in love.
Jesus.
The fuck? So that's the thing. I'm playing with my cat, right? And I look up to these scenes, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Okay, so then on top of that, main character dude ends up falling in love with his widow chick, who's of course like super hot, super stacked, yada yada yada. Boning her in the graveyard, as you do when you're this guy, and she gets bit by a zombie and dies. Revealed that she actually died of a heart attack, not the zombie bite, which is good foreshadowing for later when he's like mourning over her corpse and she like pops up and he's like, oh shit, she's reanimated. Pops her in the head and then like, oh no, I have to kill her again because she wasn't dead the first time. So that happens, and then there's a girl that comes that I think is a twin of this chick or something like that. Again, missed the details. Cat. But so the scene that
we're gonna watch this movie, it's gonna be none of what you're describing.
No. These scenes are very much there. But so he meets this other chick, and this is where it's really fucked up. He meets her, and he's like immediately enamored because she's like the twin of this other chick, and she's like, oh, but I can only be in love with impotent men. Okay, I can only love impotent men. So then the next scene that pops up is this dude going to some quack fucking doctor that's got him on like a fucking birthing stirrup, about to chop his dick off with some scissors, and then like backs out of that, and gives him an injection to make his dick flaccid. So this dude does this, and then goes back to the chick, and this is where it gets really fucking good. Goes back to the chick. And he's like, oh, I did this. And she's like, oh, well, I'm actually like cured of that because I was raped by the town's governor. But then we did it again and it was good. So now, like, sorry, but we
Jesus. What the fuck? Is this written by like a perverted 14-year-old boy or something?
No idea, but it was fucking wild. So
doesn't know how sex works.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
And then you didn't even finish it.
I didn't even, that's where I'm like, dude, I gotta shelf this. This is a lot. It's a lot to unpack,
it could be a good double feature with that Something Strange About the Johnsons or whatever that nonsense was that we watched that night.
Oh, so yeah, that was, I do not know how it concluded. But the fucked up thing is like it's a cool premise and like it was a pretty good film along the way, but I just like these scenes and was, what the fuck is going on? Like I was raped, but it's okay because he fucked me again and we were good. Like, what?
It's two left turns make a right.
Yeah, dude. So that was the most notable thing for me, Cemetery Man. I actually I debated not talking about it just so I could make it a pick, just so we could go in full bore and watch this crazy fucking movie.
Don't finish it until
always
we
an option.
Go back and watch it.
But yeah, so that was the bulk of what I've been watching. And then still going on the True Detective last episode, super good and still very solid, still leaning very much in the supernatural.
Yeah.
So far this season is held up. No dropping the ball, no dumpster fire yet of an ending. So
also notably, I think Jodie Foster's really good in it.
She's good. She's very
Which
good.
I mean, I don't feel like anyone ever really doubted her, but
right.
I do really like her in it.
No, she plays a bitch.
Yeah.
But she's a very convincing bitch, man. Yeah. She's like the most bitter old woman that just hates everyone around her. Like there's a moment where she's like, I hate you.
She hasn't worked a lot in the last several years. So
but she's kind of exploding right now because she got nominated for an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress in the movie she was in about Naiad, about the swimmer. Okay. She got nominated for Best Supporting Actress, and then in the same year she's the lead in an HBO show. It's kind of like on a Jodie Foster renaissance.
On her comeback, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, I also did watch Leviathan, which I talked to both of you guys about. If you like the thing. Another good, 80s-esque. It's actually, I think, closer to 90s sci-fi, but very similar to the thing, but classic. You're going to see all the same dudes, some really cool practical effects, some fucking nonsense. You just get to see Peter Weller being Peter Weller, awesome monster stuff. Very satisfying ending to that movie. Yeah. Because, the whole thing in that movie, it's underwater. It's a, mining setup in deep sea mining, and ran by some corporation. There's constant, dialogue with this corporate representative that's running the whole show. And here's the chick, one of the most like haunting people I think I've ever seen. The chick from, did you ever watch the Master of the Universe movie with Dolph Lundgren?
Long time ago, yeah.
Yeah. So the villain chick, I don't remember the character's name, like Skeletor's second hand, basically.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
Evil
like-
N.
Yeah.
Lynn.
Yeah. The chick that played her in that, crazy fucking eyes. Like the chick just looks fucking evil. Like just very naturally looks evil. But she's the corporate mistress that runs this whole shebang. And so after everything's off the fucking rails, of course, only a couple of people survive. And the last scene is after the corporation has written off everybody in this deep sea mining thing. Like, oh, they already died. Like they already put it in press releases. Like everybody's fucking dead. This has been scrubbed, whatever. Peter Weller and the surviving chick, because there's always a surviving chick, they get pulled up out of the water onto this, I think, oil rig, and this chick walks up like, oh, I'm so glad that you're alive. And I'm watching this, I'm like, man, both me and Leisha are like, hope he punches her in the fucking face. And just like, no thought to it, just natural as can be, just blat, bitch. And just walks on, and that's the end of the movie. I'm like, good fucking job. Perfect ending.
This is Leviathan?
Yeah, Leviathan. Yeah, it was a good flick. All right.
So, just a little segue here. You talk about Peter Weller being Peter Weller. I experienced Peter Sellers being Peter Sellers.
Yeah.
So I watched Doctor Strangelove.
Yeah.
This is the first time watch for me. Like, I had never actually seen this movie.
Oh, yeah?
I have bare recollection. Bare recollection.
Blind spot in my arsenal there. Really fucking entertaining film.
Yeah.
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 How old is that one?
It's 60. I want to say like 64 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've had best caught bits and pieces.
1964.
Yeah, black and white film, satire about what if you got the wrong man with his finger on the button.
Right.
So really
Nice.
really good stuff.
Yeah.
Probably not relevant in any way.
It's a
probably
film
aged horribly, I assume.
It's
Aged pretty bad, I assume. We don't have those issues anymore.
yeah, it's a film that was before its time.
We don't
say that.
have the issues of the finger on the button like nuclear war.
I think we all trust our government now.
Oh yeah, no, that's all buttoned up, man. We're all good here.
Yeah.
There's none of these issues. As we stand in a burning dumpster fire.
Reese, what do you have? You got some?
What you got?
Definitely, if you've never seen Doctor Strangelove, must see.
Yeah, I definitely.
I have, but I was probably like a teenager, and I'm sure I didn't appreciate it.
We might have to revisit that as a pick at some point.
That would be fun to watch together for sure.
Well,
my favorite part of the, if you guys haven't seen it in a while, my favorite part of the film is so basically there's one like general on a base, and like he basically just gives the orders that like we're firing nukes at Russia, and his reasoning is that they are basically infiltrating our people and poisoning our precious bodily fluids.
That's pretty specific.
Yeah, no. And but it's funny because he just starts giving the orders, and like these orders that he's giving, it basically like is creating like military where like these people are going off comms and they're now like stealth and so like where like nobody else in the military can now access these people to stop them from doing the things that they've been set to do, just because one dude like went off the reservation. Yeah, it's a really fun flick.
I believe there's some very interesting behind the scenes stories about that one. Like they're in like a war room, right? And they have like a giant green table, and Stanley Kubrick was like extremely insistent on getting a very specific shade of green, even though they were filming the movie in black and white. But he insisted
fucking
on this
Kubrick.
One
it affects the energy, man.
Classic.
Well, I will see your Peters, and I'll raise you a Peter O'Toole.
You will see our Peters.
And in turn, I will show you my Peter O'Toole. Probably the biggest thing I watched the last couple of weeks was my brother came over and we watched Lawrence of Arabia. It's one of his favorite movies. I'd never seen it before. Honestly, I thought it was pretty fantastic. It's definitely too long. Like, there's a lot they could cut.
It's like 4 hours, right?
It's 3 hours and 45 minutes. Yeah.
That's 4 hours.
It doesn't really drag, but there's a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah,
It's just,
sure.
This isn't really adding anything.
Yeah.
But I there was a couple shots and like cuts specifically that I was like, damn, that's aged like really well. Like,
Right.
One point like he strikes a match and then cut to like a sunrise. And it's
Right.
like for the early '60s, this felt like
Yeah.
pretty alive.
It's as heralded of a film is what you can have, honestly.
Yeah,
like I'll never forget watching an episode of Project Greenlight. I don't even remember like what season it was, but like it was the first time that like the director in that season had seen the first cut, like before they had like done the editing, after the first round of editing, and I think it was like Matt Damon asked me like, so what'd you think? And he's like, well, it's not Lawrence of Arabia.
Right.
It's just like like it's on that level where it can just be like
it's pretty. It's up there with like The Godfather and those epics.
Yeah.
But unlike I think some of the earlier epics, like maybe Gone with the Wind or the biblical epics like Ten Commandments, like I think it's actually aged really well.
Right.
It still looks fantastic. Like
I made the mistake of telling my wife the other day that I have never seen Gone with the Wind.
Yeah.
And I think I may have accidentally just set up a date to watch Gone with the Wind.
I mean, you gotta see it at some point. It's a pretty historically important movie.
I remember it being good, but it is what it is. I mean, it's very long, drawn out.
Also,
it's
very
like just
long.
drama the whole time.
Yeah.
It's not like action or in like
no, it's just drama.
It's just drama.
It is.
Like it's a Civil War movie for half of it, but you don't see a single battle.
No.
No, see, that's one
fun.
I just think it's very like some of the scope and the scale. Some of the wide shots they got, especially the very famous one of like the huge shot of all of the men battled or injured after the battle. It's like really impressive, but like, overall, it's fine.
Yeah.
But
it's a good movie, but
Lawrence of Arabia, I highly recommend. Also, interesting fact about it: it is the longest. It holds the record for the longest movie that doesn't have a single speaking female character. Very interesting.
Well, it says a lot about where they were.
Also, if you watch it, I kind of Googled after like, was Lawrence gay? Because I mean, it just kind of feels like even set in the '60s, there's a few like he's literally never. I mean, there aren't female characters in the movie for a reason. He just doesn't seem to have any interest in women.
Right.
But has like some very camaraderie.
How would you know if you've never seen him in their habitat?
Right.
I watched a new movie just came out a couple weeks ago on Hulu called Self-Reliance. It's written, starring, and directed Jake Johnson. If either of you guys watch like New Girl. You recognize him.
The funny guy.
Yeah. He voices the schlubby Spider-Man and the Across the Spider-Verse movies.
Okay.
Yeah. He's fun.
But it's like just a real simple, low-key indie drama or indie comedy. Highly recommend. It's a real quick watch.
What was that one called again?
Self-Reliance.
Self-Reliance. All right.
Okay.
On Hulu.
I'm gonna check that one out. My wife likes him.
Yeah, it's real funny. Anna Kendrick's in it. Lots of little character actors you might recognize. Very, very fun. I went and saw the Poor Things. Not the Poor Things. I went and saw Poor Things a second time. Holds up. Loved it.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Best movie of 2023.
I definitely, if it doesn't, I do think it definitely deserves the Best Picture. There were some great movies last year. You know, like I loved Killers of the Flower Moon, but I think Poor Things probably should get the Best Picture.
Here's where I'm at with it. I think it's the best movie. I think it should win Best Picture.
Yeah.
You know what I think's gonna win?
I don't think it's gonna be Barbie. If that's what
I think it's gonna be Oppenheimer.
Yeah. Well, I
really think it's gonna be Oppenheimer.
I think Oppenheimer will probably get like director for Nolan, and it's definitely gonna get Best Actor for Cillian. He's definitely gonna get it. which I'm fine with that. Yeah. But I definitely do not think it should get Best Picture.
We'll see.
The only reason I would want it to get Best Picture is because I think Christopher Nolan has been getting more and more very much Oscar hungry. And if you just give him the award, then maybe he'll go back to more interesting things.
Right.
I hate what they do with the Oscars. To where they're like almost like makeup years for people.
Yeah.
There does tend to be, and then like some snubs like eventually Christopher Nolan will win. He'll win it.
He'll win eventually. Yeah.
But I mean, like, I don't believe that like he's ever gonna make a movie that's better than what he's made.
Maybe Oppenheimer's definitely not his best, and I think his future movies can definitely be better than.
I'm still an Inception guy myself.
I love Inception.
I think Inception is like a masterpiece, and I like it. To me, if you were gonna win, see, this is where the Oscars gets fucked up. It's like the political thing where it's like when he made Inception, he wasn't well known enough to win an Oscar.
It was a summer blockbuster.
Right. Yeah. And like now they're going to end up giving him an Oscar for something that's not as good as the thing he should have won an Oscar for, but he's to the point where he deserves it. So some other schmuck is going to get snubbed this go around.
That's usually how it goes, yeah.
Par for the course.
And like...
so that they can get him his makeup Oscar.
Like DiCaprio, I think DiCaprio's given probably like 10 to 15 like Oscar-worthy performances.
Yeah.
I don't think The Revenant was one of them. And the fact that that's what he won for is like, really?
Yeah, that was a makeup.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. That's weird.
But to be fair, you could almost give it to him every year.
Yeah.
Like, he is kind of
He didn't even get nominated this year. I thought he was amazing in Killers of the Flower Moon.
Certainly in something. Oh, yeah. He was. He didn't even get nominated for Killers of the Flower Moon?
Yeah.
Was there a really good Netflix this year? No, that was the year before.
Was that last year? He was in Don't Look Up.
Yeah, Don't Look Up.
I think he was nominated for that.
Okay, good. Goddamn good, because that was amazing.
He's fantastic.
Fucking DiCaprio, man.
Yeah,
you can't argue with the guy.
But The Revenant, really? I would have been happier if he won an Oscar for Inception than The Revenant. Yeah. Poor Things, still fantastic. Go see it or see it. I believe it's coming to streaming in like less than 2 weeks,
beautiful
so
film.
It'll be much easier for certain people to see it.
Sorry, it's coming to streaming when?
I want to say like next week.
Oh, nice.
I want to say the 20th. If that
lines
up
next week.
I will finally watch it at that point.
Yeah.
And then give him weigh in.
I don't know what streaming service it's going to be on, but I know at the very least it'll be available to like purchase and rent.
Sweet.
It was on Netflix, so I just literally threw on just something real easy. I put on Dumb Money, the movie last year about
the GameStop thing, right? Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet.
It was very watchable. It was fun. A ton of character actors you like,
dude. It was very watchable.
Well, it's just like
it's a weird thing to want to watch a movie.
Yeah, it's like
it reminds me of my stepdad. My mom would be like, growing up, she'd go out of her way to make some elaborate new recipe, and she'd be like, "So, what'd you think of the meal?" And my stepdad would be like, "It's edible."
I mean, that's literally kind of what I mean. I don't really recommend it because, like, do we need a movie about the GameStop event?
Probably not.
And if we do, maybe a documentary would be better than a dramatization.
It would be much better.
Was Paul Dano in it?
Paul Dano's in it. See, there's a ton of actors in it I love. That's kind of the only reason you'd watch it. And it's...
I'm not sure that he's good. They keep putting him in. They keep putting him in good movies, but I don't know that he's good.
I love Paul Dano, so you're not gonna get agreement from me on this one.
That's fine.
Have you seen There Will Be Blood?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
He plays the same character he plays in every other movie.
He plays the same character twice. No.
Yeah, I know. I didn't even know.
But Dumb Money.
If you blink, you'll miss the fact that it's two different characters.
Is fun, probably pretty forgettable.
Yeah.
Let's see what's next. I watched the American remake of Death at a Funeral. Totally worthless. Did not need to exist. I don't know if you guys have seen the British Death at a Funeral.
No, but I'm sure that just by the title, I would probably, if I were given a choice, knowing that the original was British, I'd be like, okay.
It's very dry and witty and funny and clever.
That's a very Death at a Funeral is a very British fucking thing. Yeah. Those guys deliver on the thing that's theirs, you know. So
it's a great one. If you haven't seen the original Death at a Funeral, highly recommend it. The American one is is literally like takes lines from the original and then just adds a bunch of terrible jokes like mixed in, so just crammed.
That's how remakes do, man.
Stupid jokes.
I just realized there's Old Boy is streaming on a very accessible
Netflix. I think it's on Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix.
Yeah. Plus, it's finally available to buy on streaming services.
Yeah, so
finally got there.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody about that the other day. About like I mentioned Old Boy. He's like, "Yeah, I saw Old Boy." I'm like, "Did you see the original?" He's like, "No, I saw the American version." I'm like, fuck that shit.
That's almost impressive. I don't know if I've ever talked to anyone who saw the American Old Boy.
I haven't seen Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance. I've seen the Lady Vengeance. But
yeah, I still need to watch both of those.
Yeah.
Myself. But sorry about that.
Watch Deep Blue Sea because a friend likes monster
Sharks.
animal movies.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
Shark movies are the fucking worst, man. It's like, hey, get out of the water. Problem fucking solved.
I remember the, Open Water being pretty good for what it was. Like, it was more of like it wasn't like, hey, we're swimming around in the lake in in our opportune time. It was literally more of like just like a disaster movie where it's like, we're in the middle of the fucking ocean and like we're probably gonna get eaten by these sharks.
So
kind of thing.
That's what Deep Blue Sea was.
My favorite, pretty recent time water monster movie, and you didn't like it, or maybe weren't impressed by it, but it was on Netflix a long time ago. Sweetheart. Chick stranded on an island, dealing with basically like a murderous merman.
I've never seen this movie. So
You did. You talk shit about there being footprints on the beach, but there's a merman that shuffles around on the beach. So to me, that satisfied the footprint conundrum. I thought it was really good. I thought it had a lot of really great foreshadowing. The monster was cool. The resolution of the film was sweet. I thought it was really good.
I obviously thought it was not memorable. I do not
Yeah.
remember. I do now remember.
Yes. I thought for a monster movie and for a water-based monster movie, I thought it was a very solid film. Yeah.
Who knew?
I liked it.
I've seen this poster a lot. I don't think I had any idea it was like a creature movie.
Yeah, it's a creature movie, and I think it's pretty well done for what it is.
Huh.
Anywho,
interesting. I might have to check this out. Or maybe not. It's got a pretty low rating on Letterboxd.
I thought it was good.
I mean, you gotta adjust your standards.
Yeah, what was up?
What
was my beef with the? It's like she's supposed to be on like an island by herself or something, but there was like a bunch of fucking like footprints.
You saw footprints on the sand.
You can see the staffs. You can see the whole crew's footprints in the sand.
My point.
She's supposed to be on a deserted island.
My point is
it's like, oh, there's a trailer, but that's probably the camera guy.
Okay, so the thing is though about that, it's a fucking island. You're filming on an island. It's really fucking kind of a pain to deal with. Two, the monster's a fucking merman. The entire film shows you he sneaks out, and she hides in trees to get away from him.
Yeah.
So it doesn't fucking murder her. So that tracks. That's enough for me.
Literally.
Like I get the issue, but it's fucking. I think it's solved enough. It didn't take away from the film for me personally.
Yeah.
So.
I watched Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice
in the hood.
Yeah.
I feel I was kind of watching it. Like, am I allowed to be watching this? It's like dated so badly.
No, it's
I didn't
super
realize
it was dated badly from the moment it came out.
I didn't realize it was like one of those like not another teen movie type. It's
basically,
like that, but
that's
for
all
like
it's a Wayne's Brothers
Menace
movie.
to
That's
society.
all they do.
It's a
That's
Wayne's
all they
Brothers.
do.
It was so.
I don't know.
So bad.
Their influence is Airplane.
I don't know if it was. I don't know if it was that movie. The last. I think it may have been. I think I rewatched that recently, and there was a scene that cracked me the fuck up because it was like the mom who was played by Vivica A. Fox dropping one of them off. And there's a scene where she was like giving this heartfelt fucking speech to him, and there's just like leaves falling everywhere. And it's not like leaves naturally falling. It's like a motherfucker's on top of this car with a trash bag full of leaves, aggressively throwing them. And then it goes shot outside the car. No leaves anywhere. That's the most memorable thing about that movie to me is that fucking scene.
Yeah, that was mostly just kind of gritting my teeth through that.
It's goofy as fuck, dude. The Wayans brothers are hard to watch sometimes, man. Like some of the shit they do, it's like, how did you guys ever get any degrees?
If I think their best film is I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker.
Probably.
Saying.
It was like their first one, right?
Yeah.
So it stands to reason they got it right, and they
Never
probably
to be
should have
duplicated.
called it a. But then speaking of that, the not being able to excuse certain unrealities in movies, I for Valentine's Day, my partner and I went to see Lisa Frankenstein.
Yeah, I've seen the trailer enough to where I feel like I've seen the movie.
I'll say I thought it was really fun. I thought it was actually a fun time.
Is there anything I'm going to get from the film that I did not get from the 35 times I've seen the trailer?
The trailer looks a lot more like cloying and like, isn't this fun and quirky? And I feel like the movie feels a lot more natural in that, like, some of its absurdity, and it really buys into the cartoonishness of it. And you know, if you like, have you ever seen Heathers?
Mm-hmm.
You like Heathers?
Yep.
It's very Heathers-esque. It's very like early Tim Burton, like Edward Scissorhands and Beetlejuice, and you know all the examples or references you'd probably guess just from the trailer. But it's fully in that genre.
The trailer immediately made me think of Warm Bodies.
Yeah, I'd say it's much more goofy and fun than Warm Bodies.
Which movie is this?
Lisa Frankenstein.
Okay.
I went to see it yesterday in theaters, and I do recommend it. I think it was really fun. I've come to realize more and more recently how like effective in a bad way movie trailers can be.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, they're
especially
awful.
Seeing the same trailer over and over again for 4 months, like we have with like Lisa Frankenstein. I'm even going through it a bit with Dune Part 2, where I've seen that same goddamn trailer like 30 times.
I saw. I was looking through headlines, and there's like nothing.
Yeah.
Movie headlines, but the one thing I did see is I guess that like a certain number of people had seen like a cut of the Dune 2.
Oh yeah.
And like there's some like everybody that's seen it so far is just like masterpiece.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Like raves. Like,
I mean,
just like masterpiece.
The first one was fucking.
It's fantastic.
Pretty
like the only downside is that it leaves you with a bit of blue balls. So, like, this one's obviously not going to do that. Yeah. So like, yeah.
Well, I mean, it will, right? Isn't there like it's three pieces?
Supposed to be 3.
There's supposed to be 3. So you will probably have blue balls.
I thought it was supposed to be just Dune Part 1 and Dune Part 2.
No, I'm pretty sure it's a 3-part flick.
What?
So the book series is fucking super long, and not super long, but longer than 3. And the universe is fucking huge, so 3 films makes sense.
Well, I believe
people like millions and millions of dollars, and how you get the most millions is trilogies, motherfucker.
Well, I thought I'd heard that the first it was going to be a 2-parter for the first book, and then they potentially will do sequels, or I think he even said he wanted like an HBO series spinoff.
That's really what it deserves.
Probably.
The
now
universe
you just can't get
huge.
the budget though.
Yeah.
Because I did see a new trailer for Dune 2 last night in front of Lisa Frankenstein, and it's like movies don't have an excuse to look bad now.
Right.
If you see, we've all seen Dune Part 2 now. We know what you can do. So what's your fucking excuse for
what are we doing here?
How bad, like Suicide Squad fucking looks. You know, like
for sure.
What's the excuse here, guys?
Yeah.
It looks incredible.
And I'm sure I'm super excited.
Yeah, I've got tickets to the IMAX on March 1st, and I am stoked.
Yeah.
But Lisa Frankenstein, highly recommend. But what I was gonna say was the little not being able to forgive little things. My partner AJ is very much a stickler for like period accurate stuff. Sure. The movie takes place in like the 80s, and I believe the Frankenstein character is a corpse from the 1880s, but he's a pianist in that time. And so at one point in the movie, he's playing the piano and he's playing his own composition, and then he plays off of sheet music of like Fleetwood Mac or something.
Sure.
And my partner's like, he wouldn't be able to read modern sheet music. It's written much different from his time period. And I'm like, that's the most unrealistic thing about this movie.
Perhaps he's a musical genius.
Yeah.
Perhaps he reads music like that dude from Stargate reads everything.
Right. Interesting.
If he just like listens to a language for like 30 seconds, like, yeah, I got this.
Yeah, I'm good. This is what I do.
And then the last thing I watched, just finished yesterday, was I was watching it, rushing to watch it now in relation to our double feature. It was a movie from 1973 called Story of a Cloistered Nun. And it was a lot of similar themes.
He's just got all the...
You'd be surprised.
Like,
fucking nunnery.
How many nipples were...
This one, honestly, less quantity of nipples, but much more screen time of the nipples you do see.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
The story plot of this one features the term rampant lesbianism. So,
Yeah.
You've got like a thing with this.
That sounds that's much more. It sounds much more like what I expected. Out of the Devils.
There's like
but the Devils did not deliver
subgenre.
We're not to the feature yet.
Called Nuns.
I have a couple of movies that I've seen.
Let's do it.
But this is.
Recently.
I was just gonna say. What John was just saying. Speaking of nunsploitation is what people call these movies.
Yeah.
This movie, Story of a Cloistered Nun, did seem to be kind
much
of
more
fetishizing. Yeah,
nunsploitative.
Yeah.
Nuns get fucked. That's what they call it.
Okay, Dustin, what did you say?
I got a couple that so I was able to squeeze in Doctor Strangelove, The Suicide Squad, and City of God, all three movies that you should probably see. A couple more, and Reese, I think one, maybe both of these were on your list for best movies of 2023.
Ooh.
I was able to watch. One of them is The Boy and the Heron. Don't know if it was on your list or not.
I don't remember if that made it either. I was a little
probably should have
perplexed on that one, but I liked it. Yeah.
I'm not really an anime guy, and it's. I need to go back and watch the Spirited Away because it's one of the three films I've seen from
Princess
this guy.
Mononoke is the one.
I highly recommend.
If you talk to 8 people, you're gonna get 8 different people telling you which movie you should see.
Well, as far as your tastes in anime, Princess
exactly.
Mononoke from this guy is much more like on the adult range.
My favorites are like Spirited Away and Howl's Moving Castle.
Howl's Moving Castle.
Spirited Away was the first one I saw. It was literally the first anime I ever saw, and I just thought it was weird and didn't know what was going on. And
well, I
was also young and stupid. So.
Have you never seen anime? That's pretty much like you walk into it like
a language.
Japanese people are weird.
Yeah,
because they are.
You have to get used to like a certain
even
kind
this
of
film
required
where they just don't tell you certain things.
This film has a heron that has a dude inside of it that it like swallows down, but then it talks, and when it talks, it's like this dude's face that pops out of a bird's mouth.
Yeah,
and the dude's got like a big fucking nose, and it's weird, man. It's very like. It's kind of demonic in a way.
Yeah,
like,
it's got some weird demon.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of their culture is like the spirits in Japanese culture are super fucking all
like
over the place.
Every other anime is about demons.
Not really my scene, but I overall enjoyed the movie. I definitely enjoyed it's the second one of his I've seen in the theater. I saw the Totoro in the
which
theater,
is much more of a child,
much more. Much better payoff.
Yeah.
Totoro's kind of a piece of shit.
It's a kid's movie.
It's
literally a kid's movie.
There's this beloved character in Totoro that's barely in the movie at all.
I mean, you could say that about some like Disney movies too.
Yeah, probably. Sure. Anyway, the other film I saw that I knew was on your list was Saltburn.
Oh, I'm so curious what you thought of Saltburn.
Okay, so Saltburn has Barry Keoghan, who is in all the Martin McDonough movie, or the
actually just the one, I think.
Oh yeah. And the Martin McDonough, I think he's probably going to be in the next one.
Barry Keoghan.
So he's good. He's pretty decent in this. And it's got part of the cast from Euphoria, the HBO series.
Evil bully from Euphoria. Jacob Elordi is the actor's name.
Yep. Also, really good in this. Character honestly isn't too different from what you would see in Euphoria.
Yeah, the whole movie really.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of dong.
Yeah.
Lots of dong.
There's a lot. If you have ever seen Euphoria, it's just like the dong count is ridiculous.
Lots of
great series, super entertaining, hilarious.
I was just describing.
Lots of dong.
I just talked to somebody about Westworld the other day. Yeah, you should really watch Westworld. It's a really good series. Lots of dong. Lots of dick flopping.
Well, I believe like right before Westworld came out, some people were complaining how like shows like Game of Thrones had like tons of tits and ass, female, but like never showed male nudity. Right. And so they came out with Westworld, like fucking here you go.
Yeah, you want some big old dick? It's hanging out.
So as far as the actual movie, I enjoyed it. I think it's a good movie. I'd hesitate to put it too high on any kind of annual list. My biggest problem with it, it's kind of got that like that Ocean's 11 factor to it, where it's just like you're watching the movie and like this is fun. Like as we're going through the motions, this is cool. I don't really know what's going to happen next, but I know it's going to be entertaining.
Right.
And then you get to the end and you're like, oh, that's cool what they did there, but like you wouldn't ever actually be able to do that. Right. You know, so to me, it kind of had that feeling where it's just like, yeah, that was cool, but like it's completely unrealistic.
But
the entire thing is completely unrealistic.
Again, that's why,
especially the way that the movie settles out with like what actually happens at the end. Like that would never happen.
Yeah, but I think again the comparison to Euphoria is helpful for that, and that like half the shit that happens in Euphoria wouldn't ever happen in a real high school. That's like, but it's the emotion of it.
I actually think that the thing that makes Euphoria brilliant. I disagree with you 100%. Like, I actually think the thing that makes Euphoria brilliant is the fact that it's things that would happen on the weekend amongst any number of high school students. You know, I just feel like the thing I like about Euphoria is every teenage movie is going to cast adults as teenagers because it's just easier to manage actors that are actual adults, and it really doesn't. It looks the same on film. Mm-hmm. The thing I like about Euphoria is there's a lot of adult-natured stuff. There's a lot of sex in it. There's a lot of drugs, alcohol, drinking, and to where it's a very adult movie, but the characters are all teenagers. And I like the fact that it doesn't ignore the fact that teenagers are fucking people too that fuck and drink and do drugs. Well, and like,
I think
it doesn't hide behind like what America thinks that
wants to think high school is.
Yeah, it actually, it's like, this is what, like, I'm watching it and I got, you know what, dude, Euphoria gives you euphoria, like, and nostalgia. It reminds you of your own high school.
But that's why I think, like, Euphoria is taking, like, the seriousness of, like, what a teenager thinks their daily drama is, and, like, takes it that serious.
Right.
So, like, and yes, it does because of what it is. It is a lot of alcohol and addiction and drugs and sex and rape and stuff. But
what made Euphoria different was like there's so many teen drama things where teen drama is the worst because it's like teen drama is teen drama.
Yeah.
Whereas like the drama in Euphoria is like real life drama. Like, yeah, you're addicted to drugs and you're probably gonna die if you don't kick that. Good luck. You know, like,
yeah. But like for the same reason, Saltburn and Euphoria, it's not going necessarily for realism. You know, it's not going for realism on the small things. So it's also kind of saying like, hey, you know, this movie is the things about the emotion, the feeling, right? So, and I think a lot of it's hard to get into. I don't really want to spoil it since it's not like a topic, but like the third act kind of events kind of make you feel a certain way, and
and I don't know about you, but I will also say of Saltburn, I also found the ending to be pretty predictable. I actually was not surprised by the ending at all. I actually kind of saw it coming. So that's the other thing.
Yes and no in certain ways. I don't disagree with that, but like I like how they did it, especially on a second. I would like maybe take a few months and think about it and go back and for a second view. Did Molly watch it with you? Yeah. What'd she think?
I think she liked it more than I did.
Yeah, so maybe go back in a few months and rewatch it. Or
something. Well, my whole thing is like I don't think it's anything that like was a miswatch. I just think that like I kind of saw like when they're doing the whole like so basically there's a little twist at the end, and they kind of do the thing that they do where it's like, oh, here's a twist we revealed. Now let's go back and show you some like deleted scenes that like would explain how we got here.
Right.
And like all the deleted scenes were completely unnecessary. It's like, well, here's the scene we showed you in the first 30 minutes of the movie. If we just like rewind and show you like the next 30 seconds that we didn't show you the first time, you now understand how this twist happened at the end. And it's just like, I always just kind of assume that was like there was nothing that was really a surprise. And like the setups of like going back through and saying, well, this is how he set the whole thing up. But it's just like, I didn't really need that, you know, like,
hey,
I got
maybe
it.
somebody did.
Yeah, I guess.
So
all this negativity, you're probably thinking I didn't like that. I actually liked the movie. I thought the movie was good, but like, I didn't like, it's just falling like short of that, like where you need to get to be a great movie, you know, like it's a fun movie. It's Ocean's 11.
I do think
it's Ocean's 11.
Some of the criticism,
fun, but like it could never happen.
Some of the criticism I've heard is like feeling like they're very much misunderstanding the point or like the feeling of the movie, and so I'm just like I felt like I liked it. You know, I saw it in theaters and I was like, that was good, and then I thought about it and kept thinking about it and just kept like. Could not stop thinking about it. So here, watched it and get it home, and I loved it the second.
Right. Here's my problem with the film. Really, is I feel like the best part of the film is the Barry Keoghan's character is like obsessed with this dude, like and this dude is is like the perfect guy, right? Like he's a nice guy, he's good looking, he can get any woman he wants, like he's charismatic, but like Barry Keoghan in this movie is kind of like the nobody, but like this dude, like when they cross paths, is like such a perfect dude that he's just a nice guy to this guy who should be a nobody to him. You know, he's not like the classic like teen heartthrob character who's like a dick to all the people who aren't on the football team.
So he is the perfect dude.
He's like the perfect dude. He's like the perfect dude. And like so, there's this thing where like this Barry Keoghan, his character is like you get like obsessed with him, like on like a crazy level. Like there's a disgusting scene where like the dude's like takes a bath in this like big like because they're in this huge mansion. He takes a bath and like he goes in and is like licking the drain afterwards.
Oh, it's more than that.
It's pretty fucking intense.
And the thing is,
it's not a spoiler. So I just got to say the rest of that scene. Is he spies on him taking a bath and sees that he is jerking off in the bath.
Oh, Jesus.
And jerking off to completion. And then after he leaves the bathroom, as the bathroom is draining, he gets down and the camera's like right next to him and he's like sucking directly on the drain.
Oh, Jesus.
But like the thing is,
that's pretty obsessed.
They kind of, the way they threw in the twist of like the whole like basically they add like a con thing. Like the whole thing was like a con.
See, that's the thing.
And that's where they kind of fucked up because I don't think they needed to do that. Honestly, they just made it Ocean's 11 when actually you had a real, like, you had a movie that was dealing with real issues. Like this dude's like fucking obsessed with this guy, you know? Like,
but I think that scene is not so much saying that this was the plan the whole time. It just is saying that the relationship from the beginning was not what it looked like. I don't think the final what happens at the end of the movie was what he was trying to make happen.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm just gonna like I think that he just tried to M Night us is what I think. It's just like, oh, here you go. Here's a curveball. You know, like let's.
There are a lot of
the whole like trying to outsmart you at the
so
end.
many
and
movies now.
That's the thing. I feel like
it's not a good thing to throw into a film.
It's hard for like a lot of people try to do it, so it's hard to get pissed off every time somebody tries to do it. The problem with this movie is I kind of like by doing what they did with it and making the like Ocean's 11 con angle, they kind of took away having to deal with all the actual like issues and like the relationships and like they kind of just cop out on all that. And so I don't know. I thought it was a good movie. I would watch it again.
I don't get the vibe of the trying to outsmart you, I guess, is the difference.
Yeah, maybe that's just my own my own take on it.
You're always on the defensive.
Maybe they weren't. I just
got your dukes up, man.
I just
on your guard.
I just feel like what they did was the least clever thing they could have done. Like with the I actually didn't want it to be clever. I would have preferred that they stayed with relationships, like what happens.
It's more human as a drama.
Yeah, let's actually like play this out. Let's keep all the characters intact and see how it plays out. And instead, they did what they did. So,
did they have room to keep doing that in the film? Like by the,
I mean, you'll have to watch
by
it
the time you
decide
wanted,
for
or
yourself.
they just ran out of time and have to keep it an hour and
you
a half
definitely have to.
No, it's like 2.5 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a long movie. I'll tell you what, it watches quick.
Oh yeah, it's fast.
It is a very entertaining
like
film.
Euphoria. It's just
a very entertaining film.
It goes down smooth.
I enjoyed it a lot. I
like snappy shit.
I'm really kind of nitpicking. I'm nitpicking that I didn't love the ending because I didn't think that it was. I thought that it was an original movie that didn't have an original ending. I just thought it was just like, okay, you just gave me some of what other shit has given me. Right. And that's kind of how
I think that's honestly what a lot of people feel like. So
yeah, okay, yeah.
But I just the vibes. It's just such a
stylized,
the modern like filming of like Euphoria of just like everything is so like turned to 11. Everything looks gorgeous. Everything
in
looks
the moment,
like
everything's super fucking just
yes.
present.
I mean, the movie takes place at like a giant mansion, and they take advantage of that. Like
yes, so basically, like popular jock guy who's like the nicest guy ever, comes across a super disturbingly awkward dude.
Right.
They become friends, and disturbingly awkward dude has like no place to go on holiday or whatever, and so he's like, you should come hang out with me. And like I think he's a little depressed about some shit. He's like, you should come hang out with me in my family's place. And like so the rest of the movie is just in this mansion, and it's like, as it turns out, a whole bunch of people tied to everyone that lives there is at the mansion is just like one giant party that's happening for ever.
Yeah.
And you're seeing that like this mansion is filled with people that have bedrooms here that aren't actually a part of this family, or it's people that are just like hanging on to the idea that I can stay here forever and nobody will ever call me on it because I'm loved by the entire household.
You know, I'm the jester.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the whole concept is cool.
Right.
It's a fun deal.
No, that sounds intriguing. I'll definitely have to check it out.
Richard E. Grant is in it.
Yeah.
If you know who he is. I love him.
I'm sure I would if I saw him.
Yeah.
All right, so
does that do it?
That's gonna do it for what we've been watching.
All right, so here's the spoiler caution for the movies we're about to talk about.
Yeah, we will be talking about the 1971 film The Devils. If you'd like to watch before we talk, it is nice. Streaming on the Criterion channel only, but that's definitely worth paying for.
So, in my choice of posters.
Yeah, you didn't like the nipple one?
Yeah, that's
the nipple one.
There was no nipple. It was just
the areola one.
Slice of boob.
Oh,
here I'll show you.
Yeah, it's a close up. A close up.
This is the famous
poster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now the interesting thing about this is the original poster did have more areola peeking out.
You know, just looking at it, because I didn't spend a long time looking at it, like there should be.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, prospectively, there should be.
It's been doctored out.
Yeah. Doctored boob.
Oh, here we go. Here's the original one.
Yes, exactly. That was heavily doctored.
That looks fake.
Jesus.
Well, it's got to be a pretty.
Areolas don't look like that.
Yeah, that's very like forward facing. That doesn't look right.
Yeah, so opposite out of that one. Anyway, The Devils and Benedetta.
You know what's really good radio is listening to people describe the nipples that they're looking at.
Benedetta is.
You will have the internet. Get to it.
2021 film and is currently streaming on Hulu, which I was thinking recently. I think Hulu's got a very underappreciated like category of like indie films. I think like they've got a really nice selection of movies.
I haven't
they also have like the series that they get. Like I feel like there's some gems in there.
Yeah. Well, like they get FX stuff, and FX has like kind of a lot of good
and
shit.
Is FX doing the Aliens thing?
Yes.
Yeah, FX will be doing the Aliens thing, so hopefully it'll be on Hulu. If not, you should be able to get it as an add-on. Like I think FX probably. How does FX not have its own thing?
What I think literally FX stuff just has always been on Hulu. It's just on Hulu.
Yeah. Okay.
They got their
so FX on Hulu.
I think you can get a Disney Plus add-on since Disney owns
I don't
Fox.
Want that. I'll just get Hulu.
Which would be very funny to watch Benedetta on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I don't think that's happening.
Yeah.
So yes, I picked these two movies as a nun double feature for us.
Nunsploitation. And neither of these were nunsploitative.
No,
really.
The Devils. If either of them were, it's the Devils. But both of them I feel pretty non-exploitative of the nuns.
So there was definitely like the Devils would feel nunsploitative in the amount of nudity, but still the amount of nudity was so much less than I anticipated going in. And then none of it was. There was not gratuitous nudity. There was gratuitous implications in what was happening in a scene that you didn't get to see.
Yeah.
Right? Like the grody fucked up shit from the Devils was stuff that was like implied off screen. But the nudity was just
also, I mean, maybe
hanging out with their boobs out.
The grotesque might be the right word for the nudity because it does feel like they're portraying it in like look at this disgusting, these women being possessed by it. Didn't feel like sexual. It almost felt like because the priests are all there and they're not even
acknowledging it. They're just like
women.
Whatever. But a lot of it was too like I don't know. It was weird because the nuns just it was like old witch shit. Like when you see a witch movie and like the witch is like completely naked, but she's like covered in dirt and bark and shit, you know? It's like, so it just takes it out of any kind of like normal nudity context in a movie. Like that's kind of how I felt about it. Like, these nuns are running around naked, but like they're just crazy broads doing crazy stuff.
I'm going to refer to both these films as I make this comment because they both taught me the same thing that I didn't previously. I've never met a nun before. But
are all nuns sexually repressed?
Well, I was going to say,
I'm getting the idea.
What I can take,
I've never met one.
What I can take from these two
nuns lesbians
is that all nuns are very young and busty.
Well, there's two nuns. There's young and busty nuns, and there's old and grumpy nuns.
Because they're not young and busty.
Because they're not young and busty.
They lost it. They have to watch all these young and busty nuns.
God damn it, I can't get laid anymore.
And that just furthers the desire for other women because these no longer young and busty nuns have to watch them come through.
I mean, I don't know. The new nun that she's like mentoring in Benedetta was kind of.
No, she was more petite. Yeah.
I would also like to make a generalization about both films that happens to be true.
Yeah.
Both films kind of are and claim to be based on true events.
Another fun,
more than a claim.
Another weird thing that I'm thinking this must just be a thing with nun movies.
I need to check this out.
The third movie I watched, the story of a cloistered nun, also claims to be based on a true story.
They're all based on the same events.
Well, so that's what it is. Like there were nuns. Fucked up shit happened.
I will say
based on that.
Of the three, I think the cloistered one actually feels like it could be the most real story because it's not about a demon possession or anything. It's just about horny nuns. I can believe that.
That tracks more. No, it's the Devils had one of the most assertive testaments to like its truth I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck you. This is real.
This shit happened.
And then you get like thrown into the most unrealistic shit. Immediately, the first scene you see is like sweeping through this city. And it's like, okay, this is like fucking 1500s, whatever, plague town.
France.
Like,
it's supposed to be in
Loudon,
France.
This huge city with all this cool fucking architecture that like, you look at it, it's like, I should have seen that in a book.
Yeah.
This is not true, because I would have seen that in a book. If there was a building that looked like that in France.
It looks like German expressionism.
Exactly. I would know. But everything was fucking crispy clean.
Yeah.
Like, that was the thing that got me immediately. Like, guys, this is truth.
For all you know, that
perfect.
That castle was built like 5 years ago. So, like, it could be pretty clean.
Fair counterpoint. All right.
I've heard that as an interesting thing for period films because, like, if you make everything look pristine and white and clean, it's off-putting because it's old, but it's like, well, but the shit is new at the time.
It wouldn't have been then, but so my comment comes from just
I know what you mean.
The kind of cleanliness they could keep.
And there's literally bonfires of bodies in the streets. That shit would be dirtying up those walls.
Everything would be dirty. Like, they would keep it clean. It could be tidy, but it wouldn't be, like, modern. You know? It would be fucking dusty. Shit would be fucking dusty. Anywho.
Well, here is...
Hilarious.
I think we're just going to... I'm fine with just talking about the two movies simultaneously since we are.
Yeah.
They're pretty fucking similar, yeah.
So I'm going to do the plot synopsis and tagline for both of them right now. The Devils, 1971, directed by Ken Russell. A dramatized historical account of the rise and fall of Urbain Grandier, a 17th century Roman Catholic priest accused of witchcraft following alleged demonic possessions of sexually repressed nuns.
Yeah. So, the nun was horny.
Oh, yeah.
And then, like, got feeling bad about being horny and is like, he did it to me.
And then all the nuns are immediately like, yes.
Yeah. And then this dude gets burned at the fucking stake. He wasn't the best of guys.
That is the Devils.
The tagline is
everything you need to know.
Hell holds no surprises for them.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, it's not a bad one, but, I feel like there's been a dozen movies that's like hell has no surprise.
Yeah.
Is it? It's not Hellraiser? Where the two people are like, hell holds no surprises for us.
Oh, probably. That
Probably
sounds
Hellraiser.
that sounds pretty Hellraiser.
Farrah over here.
Yeah.
Maybe next week.
And then Benedetta, 2021, directed by Paul Verhoeven. In the late 17th century, with plague ravaging the land, Benedetta Carlini joins the Covenant in pesky Tuscany as a novice. Capable from an early age of performing miracles, Benedetta's impact on life in the community is immediate and momentous. And it doesn't have a tagline for Benedetta.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I mean, they kind of...
You want to make
no
one?
tagline?
No, not on Letterboxd. I'll check on IMDb. Nuns will be horny.
Fuck you, Virgin Mary statue.
Benedetta, you spell you. Okay, here we go. Let's see.
So while he's looking this up, I'd just like to go on record and say that I think that Benedetta is girl-on-girl porn, and I approve.
There's an amount of... It's much more explicit. Like, I did not expect how explicit this was versus The Devils. Like, The Devils seems like, 71 nuns... This is classic nunsploitation. There's going to be all kinds of crazy shit. There's much more in Benedetta, for sure. Way more.
Yeah.
And it's not not taste like it's tastefully done, but it's much more like upfront,
erotic
contact. Yeah.
It's the most erotic.
Yeah.
It's like genuinely erotic.
It's
like real feelings.
As far as eroticism, because you included a third movie that you saw because you're on this horny nun phase.
Yeah, that one I would almost describe as like softcore porn. Like
sounds
as far as how
the third film.
Yeah.
You would say it's more girl-on-girl porn than Benedetta?
Well, so it doesn't actually have that much sex scenes, but it has just a lot of like, there's a scene where like the nun makes the other one strip and has sex with me because I did this thing earlier for you, and then the other nun's like, no, I don't want to do that, and like there's just weird, awkward kind of like nude scenes that feel like they're very like...
I mean, that sounds pretty rapey to me.
There's definitely rapey scenes in the movie.
Benedetta's got like detailed cunnilingus like scenes and like...
Yeah, well, I guess...
I don't know if I go that far.
I mean, they kind of are.
Not
I mean,
detailed.
I wouldn't say detailed as far as like imagery, but I mean like... I didn't need much of an imagination.
So no, there's a lot of really intimate scenes.
Yeah, they're very intimate scenes.
Genuinely intimate scenes too. It's not like what the movie that you saw.
Yeah.
I'm sure is like very like
in content wise, probably I think you see less, but how it's presented feels more pornographic.
So there's probably there's more in Benedetta, but like the scenes are pretty genuine. The connection of the two, because it's only between these two characters. You're only seeing really this between two people that are lovers. So you're getting a genuine, like...
You drinking a popsicle beverage?
Yeah, it's fucking delicious.
Delicious.
It's a grape popsicle energy drink.
You have enhanced endurance, or you're going to endure this podcast.
I am going to endure.
Thanks to this thing I'm not going to plug on the internet. But so yeah, there was a bunch of sex, but it wasn't like there was nothing gratuitous about the sex in Benedetta, because it was very genuine. It was these two characters that were really involved.
Even I would say Benedetta
a genuine love story that just had a lot of like explicit.
They threw a stigmata in there.
Yeah.
So we talked about it the other day. The weirdest thing to me about this movie is that Benedetta is genuinely like speaking to Jesus.
Yeah.
In the presentation of the movie, she's wholly consorting with the man. Right? Like, you know this, she knows this, and there's several scenes where like Jesus straight fucking possesses her and speaks to whichever crowd in whichever context.
That was an interesting thing. People keep challenging like the things she's doing, and no one ever is like, wait, how are you doing a thing where your voice sounds like two voices?
Because the thing is, back in the day, that would get somebody put in a bag and drowned like in a second.
Yeah.
Right? And like nobody.
It's a scary voice.
Exactly. Yeah. Nobody in this film is ever like, wait a minute, what? Like, cause she just like it's Jesus yelling at them like, quit fucking up, leave her alone, and nobody challenges it or even thinks about it. It's just not even talked about or touched on in the movie, and I thought that was really weird.
Yeah,
that was very surprising.
Yeah, I didn't really think about that until you mention it right now.
Because she does it like 3 times.
Yeah, multiple times. And
like that feels like the most either damning or like evident, like straightforward evidence.
There should be a couple of reactions.
Like there's definitely something going on.
All the people should be like, "Oh fuck, Jesus is talking to us. Sorry, dude."
Yeah.
Or they're like, "She's fucking crazy. Burn her alive."
Yeah.
Like those are the two things that would happen in that setting historically.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, that was weird.
Yeah.
Her voice. Do you guys hear that? She must have been mad.
So, I'd like to speak about a moment from The Devils.
Mm-hmm.
Which
is it the moment?
Oh,
is it
John? Like so if you guys don't know, we watch these features together, and John actually like took the moment to pause and be like, that was quite possibly the most hilarious moment in movie history.
It's one of them.
So it involves a stuffed crocodile. It gets thrown out of a window.
So the context for the crocodile getting thrown out, what makes it great is the guy that's running the city. This is apparently a historical account. Grandier. Pretty early, he goes into a room where like scientists of the day are treating a woman that has the plague. And it's like a chemist.
And they're trying like just everything.
Yeah, it's a chemist and a surgeon in the fucking like 16th century. Like, they're doing wacky shit, right? And so he comes in and there's like cups all over this naked chick. And they're like putting hornets in the cups to make them stinger. And he's like, what the fuck are you guys doing? This is nonsense. Let's get this out here. So he starts pulling the cups off, pulling the hornets out. But it doesn't stop there. He starts pulling a bunch of other random shit out that these guys were trying to treat this woman with. And amongst those is a crocodile that he nonchalantly as fuck is just like, crocodile, fusha, and throws it out the window. And then the scene goes from there.
Yeah, he then leaves this structure,
goes into
which goes down some stairs that are like kind of under the window.
Yeah,
and so he goes, and then he's kind of like, he gets like to the base of the stairs and he's attacked.
Yeah, immediate confrontation
by a dude with a sword.
The father of somebody he deflowered.
But have no fear.
Yeah. Flawless crocodile maneuvers.
Blocks the sword with the crocodile, which we're not really certain how it ever came into his possession.
It does not show him bending over.
No, it does not. He just has it.
He just has it.
So you have to imagine that, like, he's coming down the stairs. And once he gets pretty low, he sees the dude. Like, oh, shit, I fucked this guy's daughter. Oh, shit. And then glance down. As he's walking, he sees the crocodile writhing around by the base of the fucking door that he's coming out of. He just throw out the window and just seamlessly, like the most gangster ever, he scoops his crocodile up
We're assuming he scoops it. We don't see it. We just see him block a sword with a crocodile that he previously threw out a window.
It could even have been stuck into the ground, so he didn't even have to bend over to grab it. It could be literally protruding up.
It could be like crawling against the wall. I'm just painting the picture, man.
Like, I'm pretty sure it was a taxidermy alligator. It's not supposed to be a real one.
But what there is wanting you to see, it is absolutely not real. Not real.
It's crazy because that scene,
taxidermist crocodile ever.
That scene has like a real like airplane, like Mel Brooks type of feel to it, and like that's not the movie,
that's
like you explain that scene to somebody and they're thinking, oh, that sounds like the wackiest movie ever. It's like, no, it's a serious movie.
Well, I mean,
it's pretty wacky.
I just imagine somebody steps out of the room for like 30 seconds and misses the alligator scene and then comes back to them blocking with an alligator. It's like, what the fuck?
No, the movie was definitely over the top. It was very, very dramatic. It was very grandiose in its capturing of what it was trying to capture, for sure. But it did take itself very seriously, and there were some really good performances too by the dude.
The lead, I think the lead is fantastic.
I thought he did a great job.
Which
Oliver Reed.
Which he plays the. We found out that night. If you've ever seen Gladiator, he plays the slave trader in Gladiator.
Yeah, no, it really honestly made me want to find movies of his, because like I was amidst the craziness that this film was, because it's pretty crazy. You get some crazy stuff. Like he delivered some genuinely just solid fucking dramatic performances that felt really epic and matched the tone that they were thinking.
He's in a Hammer horror movie called The Curse of the Werewolf, 1961.
Fucking sweet.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
I'm all in for monster movies.
I literally just bought a box set of these on Amazon.
That's awesome.
But I mean, obviously I've seen Gladiator, so I've seen some movies he's in, but he just really fucking owned the movie.
He did. His shit is very solid, and his character was not the nicest guy. So he had the crocodile fight somebody because he and it was actually it was a chick that he was just super fucking brutal to. The first scene you see this character.
Where she's telling him she's pregnant.
Yeah, and he's just like, oh well,
go take care of that.
We're done. Deal with it. I'm going over here now.
Obviously, this is over.
Yeah, it was so mean, and this girl just like, come on, man. So yeah, he's not the best guy, at all, but he's definitely definitely rousing. But he tries to redeem himself. He gets with this other chick that he actually tries to have a relationship with.
Yeah.
But no, it is very much dramatization. Like so much of the first thing you see with that movie is the fucking black and red text, like, this is fucking real, and immediately you're like, I don't know, guys, there was a crocodile sword fight. I don't know if that happened.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucked.
Yeah, I had known of the reputation of this movie. I just didn't really know anything it was about.
So just from you naming it, and Alicia did a quick Google search, I had something else entirely in mind. I thought full on exploitation.
Yeah.
And watching this movie, it is not that. It is a weird animal.
Yeah.
A very unique movie, but it is not that. And it is, I don't know, man. I don't know about this movie. It's cool.
It's so unique. I liked it. I loved it. So what did you think about Benedetta?
What do I think about Benedetta? Benedetta to me was girl on girl porn.
That's it.
I like girl on girl porn. So
you don't think there's any heart or anything to the story, a love?
I think that there were aspects of that, but I think that you went a little too heavy on the girl on girl porn for me to take any of that too seriously.
I feel like there's only 3 sex scenes. Am I wrong?
Yeah, but those got me really hot and bothered, man.
So you're mad at the movie because it got you horny?
Yeah.
Oh, I got a boner in front of my bros.
You watch a movie about horny nuns and it makes you horny. You feel defeated, as if the system has failed you somehow. I know. In speaking to John, I know I liked the movie better than he did. I feel like he didn't really love which he just
he didn't love Benedetta. He didn't love Benedetta.
He didn't love Benedetta.
Interesting. I wish he was here to talk about it.
I know. I wish he was here to talk about it. But I liked Benedetta. Of the two of them, I do think that it's the lesser movie.
Yeah.
But that being said, it's probably the one I'm most likely to watch again. Because, girl on girl porn.
I found a rip on a certain hub that had all the good scenes cut out.
Yeah. Deleted. Hey, if you're going to show me a deleted scenes version of Benedetta, I'm all in.
I found a cut of the movie. It's only 7 minutes long. It sounds just right for me.
Benedetta had some, like, horror elements.
Yeah.
That I kind of like. I don't know. I think what it comes down to, if I'm comparing the two movies, there's really no comparison because I think that, I just think that The Devils is a better film. Like the performances were good. I like the story. Everything fit well. Like I said, Benedetta, I'd probably be more likely to watch again, but mostly just because like I like the idea of hot nuns going down on each other. It's kind of cool, I can see that.
Benedetta is very much more like genuine touching of God.
Some of the the sex toys that they were making, their homemade sex toys.
They carve a dildo out of a wooden Virgin Mary.
Yeah, it's a bit.
It was pretty hardcore.
That was maybe the one thing in the movie that took me out of it. That's like, hey, look, the Virgin Mary your mom gave you when you were a child. I turned it to a dildo, and she's like, cool, let's try it. I'm like, well, I don't think that.
It's kind of like getting fucked by Jesus.
A Jesus that your mom introduced you to. It's like, look, I found your old Barbie collection and I melted them down and turned them into a dildo.
Yeah. Well, then there's the torture scene later where the priests are torturing Benedetta's lover with. Oof. I mean, honestly, it probably was a real thing.
Yeah.
Like, they did. Man, the Catholic Church in the fucking 15, 16, 1700s, fucked up place to be. They created every single way to torture somebody ever.
Which in doing research, I did find that historically, Benedetta was a real nun who did actually get punished for fucking other nuns. So
did she live or did they execute her? That's the
they say
that's the question.
I can't remember.
The film says that she lived
out her days. Yeah.
I don't remember reading.
No, I mean, so all these movies, every film ever, that's like this is based on a true story. It's like this person existed. And here's this thing they did.
Yeah,
that's all that any story like this ever is.
I heard about this guy once, and I thought of a good idea for a movie.
So, like fucking Cocaine Bear, right?
Yeah,
based on a true story. Like the true story of Cocaine Bear was that a dude jumped out of a fucking plane.
Was it a dude jumped out of? I don't know. Some drugs fell out of a plane.
Literally, a bear ate a thing of cocaine and died.
Because there was a drug dealer that jumped out of a plane.
Yes,
because of something happened.
Crossing the border or something.
Shit didn't work out, and then some of the cocaine was lost in the forest, and then the bear ate it and died. You know, like that's the thing. Like every story is like, this person existed, and this happened, and that's it. So then everything else is just like.
Which I think
it's
stuff also, like Dumb Money and stuff like that. Yeah. We're getting to a point where, like, instead of thinking for an interesting idea for a movie, we're going to say this movie is based on a true story because that, for some reason, inherently makes it like interesting.
Sure. Like, and then you just dress up as much as you want. And so that's the thing with watching the Facebook. That film. What was
Social
that
Network.
The Social Network. Watching that, it's like the guys all did great. Like it was great performances. It was super like genuine. It was entertaining. But it's like that's not this fucking guy.
We've seen videos of Mark Zuckerberg, and he is not clever
this
or
witty and clever and slick. Like no, guys, like this just didn't happen.
You know what? It's cool. $1 billion.
Like. But yeah, so every film you have to you run.
Yeah, and so like basically there are two phrases that'll get you. One of them is based on a true story. Translation: a thing happened, and part of that thing is present in this movie.
Yeah. We wrote a story about a thing that happened.
I will also say I get the feeling from both of these movies that they kind of use that as like an excuse for like, hey guys, you can't get mad at us. This shit really happened.
Yeah,
like,
for sure. Yeah. No,
So the other form of this is the one that says inspired by true events.
Yeah, those are the ones.
This is the one where you gotta be skeptical because this could literally be anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Alien technically could have been inspired by, like him watching his mom get a C-section,
Right.
and like, you know what I mean? Like, like these things can come from anywhere. Like, it doesn't matter if it has anything to do with a true story. It was inspired by true events.
That literally
it means nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, I saw this bird flying this tree, and it gave me the idea for Star Wars. So Star Wars is technically inspired by true events.
Yeah, so it'd be like
I don't know who those are for, because like
it's like I see.
does that make you want to watch a movie?
It's like I see
it's
it.
just a shtick.
If I saw an interview with Tarantino, and it was like, well, so, I was born. My mother gave birth to me, and she told me about this when I got older, and I thought about like me being born, and how inspirational that is that I was born, that I just wrote and directed Pulp Fiction.
Well, I mean,
inspired by true events.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Inglourious Bastards, you literally can say those are inspired by true events.
Yeah.
And both of them are completely fictional.
Well, those you can say are based on true events.
Yeah.
I mean,
true.
honestly,
Yeah.
they are based on true events. When you say inspired, that means to me they aren't based on true events.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Well, also it seems like more and more often, like Cocaine Bear, people use the inspired by true events thing.
Has anybody seen Cocaine Bear?
I have.
I
haven't seen
Ray
it.
Liotta's last movie.
I thought it wasn't.
Oh, is it really?
It's entertaining.
It is.
It's,
Well, I thought it
it's
wasn't.
what it
It wasn't
is.
nearly goofy enough.
Okay.
They need to go over the top.
No.
So
It was pretty goofy though.
But they get
is
to like
it worth
a
a
heartfelt
watch?
story part. And like,
No.
Is it worth the watch?
It's entertaining.
I'd have to check. I'd say if it's under 100 minutes, it's worth a watch. Otherwise, probably
It's
not.
if you're bored, it's entertaining enough.
Yeah, it's got some great actors in it.
Ray Liotta's last performance. That's where you're gonna see it.
It's
That
got
motherfucker died right after that movie.
cocaine. How do you spell cocaine?
Yeah.
Ray Liotta,
Ice Cube's son.
Ice Cube's son, who honestly is
We'll never know
good actor.
has anything other than Ice Cube.
Is the ice melt?
Kerry Russell is in it. Alden Ehrenreich.
Crushed ice?
Isaiah Whitlock's in it.
No,
and
it's
Margot Martindale's in it.
It's a pretty entertaining movie. It's complete bullshit, but it's entertaining enough.
Yeah.
It could have been goofier, but I felt it was goofy enough.
Yeah,
myself.
It's 93 minutes long, so I'd say if you need a dumb, funny movie to put on, sure.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to take this time. We at the beginning of these episodes, we always do the "What have you been watching?" I'm going to take a minute to talk about what I did not watch.
Yeah.
Oh, the movie. Oh yeah, the movie you were going to see for Valentine's Day.
Yeah. So the plan was for Valentine's Day we were going to go see the Bob Marley movie.
Yeah.
And I got off of work yesterday, and Molly was like, "Hey, the movie starts at this time, so that works out perfectly with dinner and all this." And we're having a conversation. She's like, "So hey, like, surprised you wanted to see this. Like, the reviews are terrible." I'm like, "Oh, well, I didn't look at the reviews. I just saw the trailer, and I like Bob Marley." And she's like, "Seriously?" Because she knows that I'm the type of person. I don't just like throw myself into a movie at the theater without knowing what I'm getting myself into.
Yeah, because it costs time and
so
money.
She was just like, "Oh, so you've done like no research whatsoever?" I'm like, "No, haven't looked up anything on this other than I will say that Reese mentioned on Monday that the like main actor from the film has done like 2 other biopics.
Yeah, he's
that were
played
kind of uninspiring and
played both Malcolm X and Obama.
Yeah, he's just a career biopic, and he said both of those were kind of bad. So like, I guess the one thing I've heard was not positive. And so like we're just sitting there, and it's just like, so what we ended up doing instead is we watched Shrek and Shrek 2.
Nice.
Which I had not seen.
Oh, ever?
You should check out.
And no, I had seen them. I had not seen them in a really long time.
Did you?
Same.
Did you watch?
I have not seen the next 2 installments of that film series.
Did you watch the newest Puss in Boots movie?
Oh my God.
I've never seen a Puss in Boots movie. No.
Puss in Boots. I've
Puss in
never
Boots.
seen a Puss in Boots.
I've never seen the Puss in Boots.
That movie's fucking legit.
It's incredible.
I think that movie's
That
legit.
movie's
as fuck.
amazing.
The most recent one or the
Yes.
first one?
Because the
Puss-
most
you
recent-
don't. I haven't even seen the first Puss in Boots.
No, you don't need to.
it.
Just watch this movie. He's a dude.
Well,
he's a cat. That's
The
ran out of
character
his
was
9
good
lives.
in the second Shrek movie.
Yeah, no, he's great. Dude, the movie's fucking fantastic.
So I thought there were only 3 Shrek movies, and I always knew that I had never seen the third one. I was told last night that there are actually
We were not
4,
talking about
so
that
I'm down
anymore.
2. And then I guess there's also one that comes out next year, a 5th
Yeah,
Shrek
which
movie
I'm
in
honestly,
line to be released in
because of how
2025.
good Puss in Boots was, I'm a little
I'll watch
excited
it,
for
yeah,
that
I'll
Shrek
watch it.
movie.
No,
I will say though, rewatching both Shrek movies, man,
they're in your...
there's one thing, like I feel like they were really, really good movies, and there was one thing holding them back.
Yeah.
If they would have cast literally any other female voice than Cameron Diaz. Oh my God, she's terrible. I hate Cameron Diaz. Like, the only acceptable performance for Cameron Diaz is Vanilla Sky, where she plays like the scariest woman of all time.
Right.
And like just like the classic clinger. And like I feel like
classic clinger.
the classic,
It's all about the clinging.
the classic clinger, and like I feel like she lends well to that role. I buy her in that role. But
She's found herself in a lot of good movies.
Because we talked about like Gangs of New York,
which is one of my favorite movies.
we both rewatched that
I remember being
recently.
so bummed when I saw she was in that.
John and I had a conversation. It's like, man, I haven't seen that movie since I saw it when it came out. Like, and we both went back and rewatched it, and it was just like, you know, it's just like I remember the movie being good, and it's just like things are going well. It's like, why has it been so long since I watched this? And as soon as she comes on screen,
so the thing is,
you remember, and you're just like, fuck. She really weighs that thing down.
I love the film. I love that.
Dude,
film.
she weighs that thing down.
No.
Hard.
It's just it sucks that it's her. It's a detraction from the film. But
it could be literally anybody.
I've had experiences like that, and it's such a bummer. Where it's like, I feel like even just this past year we had some stuff where it's like, man, if this literally just was any other actress or actor, I feel like, I don't know. But the other movie, did you guys? And now this movie just in general is pretty bad, and we've talked about how bad Ridley Scott movies can be. But did either of you see the movie The Counselor with Michael Fassbender?
No.
No.
Don't. It's not worth it. But she is in it as like a villain character. Her role.
Is this a newer movie? Because I haven't seen her in
2013.
Oh, wow. Okay, so 10 years ago.
Her role was written for Angelina Jolie. And they lost Angelina Jolie and went with Cameron Diaz.
She can't do that.
She can't do that.
She can't do
She's
that.
like playing a villain who's like so cocky. And I'm like, you look like a kid in like a Halloween costume. You look so stupid.
She doesn't speak eloquently. Like, you know, like she speaks like somebody who's reading all the time.
She doesn't speak like intimidatingly, like confidently.
She's
I don't know.
She's just not a good actress, unfortunately.
No, so I will defend Gangs of New York. I think the film is fantastic.
No, I think she is a bad blind spot in that movie.
No,
John.
it is because you just have to deal with it. But
Yeah.
the rest, like the scenes that aren't her, are still just.
The movie's
fucking
obviously
fantastic.
great because it has Daniel Day-Lewis in it. And like,
It has
And
everybody.
DiCaprio.
you just
in it.
really can't go
It's
wrong
so
with Daniel
good.
Day-Lewis.
It's got fucking Gleason, dude.
John C. Reilly in that movie. I feel like him on that set just would have to pinch himself a few times. Like, how did that? What's going on?
He just gets to do that sometimes. He's weird. I think he must be just.
He works with some incredible
awesome.
people.
He must just be an awesome dude.
So,
like,
since we've ventured into this other conversation.
Yeah.
Can
So
we have we put
Well, yeah,
Get
you
back to
just
nuns.
like put a brakes on the
No, I did.
devils.
I did. What I do is I get us off subject, and then in the first one to identify that we are not on schedule.
So
do
you want to do just final notes?
Yeah. Let's put a bow on the horny nuns.
I've got like a bit more of extended final notes, but
horny nun double feature.
So one thing that I was just describing the devils to Chris out there after he finished up with D&D before he left, and he's like, so is it like so I mentioned nunsploitation. He's like, is it like nunsploitation and more, or like but more? And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the devils is nunsploitation, but so much more.
Yeah.
That's perfect for that movie. It's like it's what you think it is, kind of, but it's a lot more. And I definitely would tell people to watch The Devils. It's a cool fucking movie.
Yeah.
Benedetta is it's a good film for what it is, but it's not. It didn't strike me as much. It's not anything that really needs to be watched.
I feel like The Devils, that movie was surprisingly really good.
Yeah. I really enjoyed every part of that movie.
And Benedetta fucked me. Like, I feel like that movie fucked me.
So my kind of final synopsis. I really just picked the two as a double feature because they're both movies I've been wanting to watch, and they're both about nuns. So hey, look, that seems like a good double feature.
It's a good double feature.
But
it was a good double feature.
Honestly, I do think they pair really well together on so many different levels.
I agree with that. Yeah.
I think they are both just taking the subject matter like as seriously as the subject matter wants to be taken seriously.
Right.
You know, like. The Devils turns the theatrics of religion and the church like up to 11 because that's how fucking fancy they think they are, and they think they're superheroes and saving the world.
The church is like, I imagine meeting just look at the fucking Pope. Like that motherfucker lives in 11. Like that's it. Like look at my hat.
He has
a glass
a
car.
Pope mobile.
Those motherfuckers exist at 11, so it's very true to form there. For sure.
And then the Benedetta with the idea of possession and miracles, it takes it seriously. Of like, look, guys, if this shit was happening, you would have to take it seriously. Like this, if this is what they said happened, like you understand the implications. Like you guys were assholes for like not believing these people after you said. These things were miracles. Like if Benedetta, if the things she was saying was happening, actually were happening, then like they were nothing but hypocrites with what they did to her and stuff. Yeah. And I think they both pair really well in that. And they just take the subject matter like fully to heart. Like,
They
take it seriously,
like, for sure.
But like from two completely opposite directions. I loved how like. The Benedetta, I felt like the movie really cared about the character Benedetta, which is, I just loved that movie. And then The Devils was like just a fucking trip.
I definitely agree with that.
Wild.
That there was a lot of like real Benedetta was genuine. That's what I was saying earlier about like the sex scenes. Like there was a lot of sex scenes and there was a lot of stuff like that.
No, they were genuine.
It was always super genuine. That movie is super genuine. The film is super genuine.
It's not vulgar.
No, it's not vulgar at all. There's like a lot of nudity and stuff, but it's not vulgar. It's very genuine. It's a lot. Like the pairing is funny because it's like sweet and sour. You know, like because it's like wild visually and then the other is much more tamed down. So they're definitely both worth watching.
Yeah, I highly recommend both, and I would highly recommend as a double feature. I thought it was fucking awesome. I like the order too. I wouldn't flip it.
Yeah. All right.
Fuck these nuns. I mean, movies.
Fuck the nuns. Fuck all the nuns. Okay, so
fuck these fucking nuns.
We got a couple things to take care of.
Yeah.
One is that Reese is going to set us up for what you need to go to the theater and watch this week, and then John's going to close us out with his pick for next week.
Yeah.
One more thing.
Episode.
Involving movies out this week. I was going to say after we had the conversation about the the One Love movie you were seeing and
right.
Frankenstein I was seeing, and you were like, "Oh, Frankenstein looks terrible," and I
It
happened to look at the like Rotten Tomato score of both movies, and Lisa was at like 65, and the One Love movie was at like 30. I was like, "Fuck you,
Both
Dustin."
bad. Both bad. Fuck me. I'm the one that avoided both of those train wrecks.
No, Lisa Frankenstein's fun.
I watched Shrek. What's the Rotten Tomato score on Shrek?
Okay, so
Probably like 98. Not that I actually put heart in Rotten Tomato. But.
For real though, watch the goddamn Puss in Boots movie. The one that just came out.
I'll watch it. I need to watch Shrek the third before.
Yeah, watch it with Molly.
I'm on a chronological order thing here.
I honestly, let's say, don't watch 3 and 4. I don't think they're nearly as good as the first two movies.
Just jump to Puss in Boots.
Oh, you think Puss in Boots is the next best?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen the first Puss in Boots movie. I think it's fine, but I don't think it probably doesn't compare.
It's probably
to
entertaining.
Puss in Boots 2.
So the thing that I say about Puss in Boots 2 is it's a real film.
Yes,
that's a real film.
Like honestly,
in my opinion, that's a real film.
It's like literally, it's like the people who make Shrek decided they wanted to try their version of Across the Spider-Verse, and I mean, not like story wise. It's not like about multiverse. I'm just saying like, there's fucking art in this movie.
It's a legitimate art. It's a legitimate piece of art.
They use animation to like the max of animation, where like different characters are different styles.
The components, the story it's heavy shit.
Yeah,
it's really heavy shit. There's
Puss in Boots has like PTSD.
Yeah, no, it's super real shit, and like the villain is a fucking villain. It's the guy with the pie. Horner?
Oh, Jack Horner.
Jack Horner.
He's voiced by John Mulaney.
Yeah,
he's
Jack Horner is the villain, and he's like, dude, he's fucking evil. Like the character is evil. It's heavy.
I just want to,
shit.
Since we brought up Shrek, and I did watch the first 2 movies, I do want to take a moment to just shout out an 80s legend. Eddie Murphy kind of made those movies.
Oh yeah.
You can't make those movies without Eddie Murphy and have them be good. Yeah. I mean, like the donkey character is literally like the heartbeat of that franchise.
Eddie Murphy is fucking Eddie Murphy, man. Like,
dude,
it's funny because when those movies were coming out, I won't talk about how old I was at the time. That was like. The Shrek movies were like my only exposure to Michael Myers for like a long time. Yeah. But Eddie Murphy just was like, of course I knew who Eddie Murphy was. Like, it's fucking Eddie Murphy.
No, so dude, the crazy thing about Eddie Murphy is I watched this stand-up special from the fucking 70s. Oof. And of all the people that have gotten fucking like burnt at the stake, their whole lives lit on fire for the shit they've said.
Yeah.
How the fuck has Eddie Murphy?
They don't touch comedians and old bits. They just don't.
I think he's kind of come forward and said like obviously he doesn't agree with it.
If you listen to old Eddie Murphy, if you listen to old Eddie Murphy comedy, a lot of it is him like kind of making fun of Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
And doing a fantastic Bill Cosby impression while doing it. But the fucked up thing is that, like, a couple of decades later, like, he would become Bill Cosby. I mean, his career went the way of Bill Cosby. Like, promising young comedian who gets a gig in television and movies doing mostly family films.
It's kind of surprising he never really had, like, a sitcom. He was kind of just... went straight to movie stars.
Yeah, he had an animated series called The PJs that did not do well.
PJs.
Dude, The PJs is pretty good.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, you remember The PJs?
Yeah. Season 1 of PJs, I was down for it.
Yeah,
I was down for it.
I don't remember it all that well, but I don't remember it being terrible. I think it was one of those things. I think it was probably in a bad time slot, and a lot of people probably just didn't see it.
It's stop motion, and it's very like...
wasn't really popular. It was probably ahead of its time.
I've probably seen like screenshots of this, but I do not remember.
No, it's very like just fucking street level, like coming out of the fucking ghetto is what it's about. It's about a fucking super in a fucking in a ghetto ass fucking apartment building, like maintaining, living life. Like it's a very honestly, like I remember it being a pretty real, like it's comedic, but I remember it being a pretty real drama. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but.
Okay. Well, in theaters this week. It's always darkest before the storm.
Yeah.
Or before the dawn.
I got to tell you, man, it's rough.
It's rough. I want to see movies right now. I'm like this close to actually seeing Wonka in theaters.
We need a fucking local theater that
Dune
plays other shit.
Dune 2 in 2 weeks. We're getting Dune 2.
It's 2 weeks. Oh, that's dope.
A week, 2 weeks from today. Yes. Okay. So new releases are the Bob Marley biopic One Love. Oh, I want to talk about this too. One of the trailers that played in front of Lisa Frankenstein was another music biopic that they're coming out with, and it's
Jason Mraz.
No, who she killed herself and or not? Amy Winehouse.
Already,
they're doing a biopic of Amy Winehouse already. Is that not like
unjustified?
That's weird. I hate that.
No, that's not good.
She's not biopic worthy.
No,
she's not relevant enough.
It's also just like why?
It's too soon.
It's too soon. It's too like not blockbuster. Like that's not the kind of shit you should be doing in a blockbuster. Like
I don't know, man. I've never. I don't want to sound like a dick, but I just imagine just a white woman drunk on wine and punch. Bad shit. I don't know if I need to watch a movie of that.
It doesn't look like it's going to be good. I was kind of disturbed.
I don't know. So I think that and you could probably say the same for guys I like, even like Jim Morrison. Like I enjoyed the biopic. I've read the book that Jim Morrison biopic was on, but like honestly, like. Fucking, do you need to know the story of how these guys burn out? You know the story of how people like this burn out.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like,
if you're just human destruction, like
we don't need another extremely generic music biopic.
Yeah.
About whatever. That's whatever. Bob Marley, Madam Web.
More random comic book thing that no one's heard of.
Yeah, is that what that is?
It's a comic book.
It's Sony. It's a Sony Spider-Man movie. Yeah, so it's as bad as it gets.
It's a chick that has spider powers.
See, like she doesn't even at this point. Her powers that like she can see into the future. Like, why is that a spider?
I don't know.
Lisa Frankenstein is out. Honestly, among these might be the best.
What's your score on Lisa Frankenstein? What are you giving it?
I gave it like 3.5 out of 5.
3.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Okay. So better than a 3.
I thought it was fun. I thought it was funny.
Good, not quite great movie is what you're saying.
I'd say good, not for everyone movie.
Okay.
Like you probably won't like it. Honestly, I think you would.
Yeah.
John would like it.
You
might like it. You like Heathers. Have you seen Mean Girls?
So I'm gonna be very critical of any movie that puts the word Frankenstein in the title. Like that's.
But you can get why they did. It's fucking funny.
No, that's fine. They're not the first ones to do it. I mean, I bet Costello did it too. You know.
I will also say
it's an easy thing to do.
They don't call him.
Like, it's like if you put Godzilla in the title, you're gonna be very critical of it, and I'm that way with Frankenstein.
But I'm just saying they literally just did it for the title and the fact that it involves a resurrection. There's not like. Her character's name is not Lisa Frankenstein.
I know. Okay. I know all this. I'm just saying you use the name in the title, so you got to be judged against Frankenstein movies.
That's true.
And
then it goes downhill from there. They re-released Anyone But You, the rom-com that came out like 4 weeks ago. They re-released it as the Valentine Encore.
That's
lazy.
Which is like, did you guys
really
just
lazy.
Accidentally schedule the movie at the wrong
Andy
time?
Garcia and Meg Ryan again?
Yeah.
This is Sydney Sweeney from Euphoria and Glenn Powell, who is like blowing up right now. He's in the Top Gun 2.
Which one was Sydney Sweeney from?
I won't say. You might recognize it. That's a terrible picture.
Oh, okay, yeah, the slut. Okay, yeah. I like her.
Yeah, she's not making great choices right now, but
hey, I think she's doing fine.
The Beekeeper, the new Jason Statham movie that looks like 300 other Jason Statham movies.
It's just Jason Statham.
Yeah, Jason Statham Part 37.
The Transporter Part 5.
That's all those guys are. Like they're just like this guy forever.
It's Tom Cruise, the movie.
I don't know how many Transporter movies there are, but it's like Transporter X.
Yeah. I think there were 3 with him in it, and then more without him in it.
The Beekeeper.
The Beekeeper, yeah.
You know what you're getting into. You're going to watch some dude beat some people up.
Yeah.
They'll transport whatever and bees.
Argyle, still in theaters.
Yeah, that seems...
So,
I've heard pretty bad things.
Yeah.
You know my problem with Argyle is, first off, it just looks bad.
Yeah.
But it reminds me of the similar spy film with Armie Hammer.
Yeah,
and
The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah.
I think it's like,
yeah.
Isn't this the same? Not the same director, but I think he wrote that movie.
But it's
Matthew Vaughn.
It's the guy who did what's the other spy movie?
The
Gentleman.
Yeah. It's not called The Gentleman.
What the fuck is it called?
Shit.
I don't know, the fucking British thing.
Yeah. God, why can't I think of it?
Why? How do we not know the name? John, where are you? Where are you? One of the Secret Service. Oh my God.
Okay. Matthew.
People are listening to this back. They're like, you fucking Nimrods. How do you have your own podcast?
Kingsman. The Kingsman. He directed all 3 Kingsman movies. And apparently Argyle.
And he's doing this. And Argyle just kind of looks like a blend of the Kingsman and the Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah. Argyle apparently is tied in with the Kingsman.
Although the chick from Man from U.N.C.L.E. is the whole reason to watch the film. She is amazing.
That's what movies like this piss me off, is that like you had like it looks like a fine premise. Like spy movies are just excuses for espionage and action, right? So like that's all you need. And then you have an awesome cast, and then the movie sucks. Like what? Why did you fucking waste your time with? Like,
speaking of generic spy movies, you guys ever see the? I want to say it's like late '80s, I want to say it's like '91, maybe early '90s. If Looks Could Kill. You ever see this film?
I probably saw pieces of it in other people.
It's like starring like nobody, and like it's all in on the like it's kind of like Austin Powers before Austin Powers, and like it's all in on the gadgets that they give the spy, like the I don't know, movie from my childhood that literally just popped into my brain as we were speaking.
Does that look right?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, I know the.
If Looks Could Kill, that might be a future pick.
Spy movies can be really fun.
We have to be able to find the movie, you know. Yeah. I don't see. Yeah, I literally don't recognize anyone in this cast.
It's like got like Greco, like his name is like Greco.
Richard Greco.
Richard Greco.
Which he looks vaguely familiar, but
yeah. He was in a lot of B movies in the 80s.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying I dislike spy movies. I'm just saying like you literally.
Well, I do. I've never met a Bond movie that I agree with. I am not a
Skyfall?
Bond guy.
Have you? You could literally just watch Skyfall by itself.
I've never seen it.
I dig spy movies. I'm down for spy movies.
I have an issue with Bond movies.
You should watch Skyfall.
It's an easy thing. Like spy movies can very easily become just like tiresome and redundant.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's it's just an archetype.
Yeah. So Bond is, he is Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse. He's just always
not the Daniel Craig Bond.
Oh, okay.
Have you watched the Daniel Craig Bonds?
No, I have not.
You should watch them. They're good.
I'm just talking about Bond the character.
I honestly the Bond movies that don't have Daniel Craig in, I think I've seen 2 of them.
The thing is, Bond's an uninteresting character. John Wick's a fucking uninteresting character.
Yeah.
Every iteration of that character.
I agree on both.
Every just dude that's a perfect dude is an uninteresting character. You know.
I mean, Daniel Craig's fantastic.
100% agree.
Just as an actor, so like, and I would watch. Honestly, you could probably just watch Skyfall and it'd be fine. Like,
I might check it out.
Like that's the whole idea of James Bond movies, is that they kind of have to be standalone and part of a franchise. But Skyfall is just a movie is very good.
Number 1 on my Daniel Craig watch list is a rewatch of Girl with the Dragon Tattoo that they never made the other 2 sequels.
That is always forever a bummer.
Dude, they oh my God! Like when you make the first leg of a trilogy, and it's like perfect, and then you just don't follow it up, I just want to murder everybody that you've ever known, including your family.
Just like imagine if like we got Empire Strikes Back and then the end of Star Wars.
I was just gonna say Dune, like
Dune oh my god!
Like, nope, sorry guys, canceled.
There was literally like 2 weeks after Dune came out that we were waiting to hear if they were actually gonna.
It sounds like Dune's gonna be like 14 movies or something, you know? Like
they're so excited.
So the thing I'll say about Dune, from the
fun story,
David Lynch,
Dune,
man. The Harkonnen dude is so much less gross than David Lynch's.
Yeah, that's true.
I rewatched that not that long ago. I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's hard to look at this guy. This is disgusting.
Pustules.
Dude, just like fucking oozing shit all over. Ugh.
All
right.
Last few movies: Mean Girls still playing, The Boys in the Boat still don't care, Migration animated movie, and Wonka.
Yeah, I don't care about those. So not much.
Yeah, and then unfortunately next week's not that much better. We're getting a Christian drama, and looks like 3 Christian dramas. What the fuck?
Yeah, North Point's fucked up, man.
Yeah,
in their Christian drama.
And then Dune Part 2 will save all of us.
Yeah,
probably gonna see it like 6 times in theaters.
So John Brown, we're gonna have a small conversation with John Brown now as he starts to tell us about what we can expect in the next episode. So, John Brown.
My pick is something that's super dear to my heart. It's defined, it very like subconsciously defined a lot of who I became as an artist in person. Movie I watched, should not have watched the age I watched it. Probably watched it like 9 years old. Fuck, I don't know. You know? And it molded me ever since. It's an animated movie, Heavy Metal.
Nice.
The first Heavy Metal movie. Which, do not watch Heavy Metal 2000. It is a piece of shit. Do not watch that movie.
All right, so let me ask you this, John.
It's fucking garbage.
If I was in the mood for a double feature, and I was gonna watch Heavy Metal, and you say Heavy Metal 2000, no bueno. What movie should I watch with Heavy Metal to make an ultimate double feature? I know I'm putting you on the spot. This is tough.
I immediately had a thought. I don't know if you would like the thought, and I don't know if you would agree, but I think for me as a lover of both films, I think it's actually like kind of perfect.
Let me be straight with you. In the last episode, Reese said something to the extent of, our double feature is just the new norm. And in my mind, like, I don't think they're the new norm, but I think that, like, for the time being, they're a thing we're going to roll with. So let me rephrase. We're pairing Heavy Metal with a second film because the movie you chose is only 86 minutes long. So give me the second film that we will be watching.
All right, you know what? Akira.
Oh, okay.
Akira.
I was gonna say, have you seen that one?
No, I love that film. Actually, no, hold on.
It's the same direction.
I was writing it down.
Hold on, much better. To pair with Heavy Metal, the perfect double feature is Spine of Night, released on Shudder 2 years ago.
Spine of Night.
That's the perfect double feature for Heavy Metal.
Spine of Night.
Yep.
Okay, Spine of Night.
That's the double feature.
So
absolutely. Oh,
you heard
God damn, that's good.
You heard it here first. Episode 22 will be 2 weeks from tonight. So we're looking at, is it a leap year?
It is a leap year, yeah.
So February 29th.
So with Heavy Metal, you can expect, if you've never seen Heavy Metal.
That might not happen. That'll be month end. It might be a different date.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll figure it out. Well, yeah, Heavy Metal, if you've never watched it, you can expect it's a fucking ride. Yeah. It's a ride of a lot of shit happening. A lot of different things happening.
Oh, wait, sorry. The 29th is a Thursday. It's 2 weeks from today. So we'll be back.
Yeah, that's right.
The 28th.
Yeah, it's still month end, but we'll see how it goes.
But yeah, so that's no, I'm actually, if you guys are down, I think that's a good promise.
I think I literally just saw this Blu-ray at Walmart, and I was like, I've never heard of this movie.
Would be so good too. God, Spine of Night's much.
I wrote down AK and then scribbled it out and wrote Spine of Night. So I think your answer is locked in.
I haven't seen Spine of Night. I've seen Akira. I love Akira. but I haven't
Akira
seen
is
Spine of
it's
Night.
I think Spine of Night's the choice.
no,
I
it's
think
good.
we got it locked
It's
in.
a great pairing.
Heavy Metal is not on any current streaming services, but it's available to buy in all the normal places: Vudu, Amazon, YouTube, whatever. Spine of Night is on Shudder.
Yep. Sounds good.
Right on.
All right.
Well, yeah. So we'll be back in 2 weeks. Stay tuned for updates. And fuck you.
Peace out.
Stay horny.
Fuck no.